get up, have a breakfast smoothie, swim, run, ride, kayak, 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 swim, run, ride, swim, and then sleep.
Twenty-nine-year-old New Zealander Braden Currie is one of the world's leading long-distance multi-sport athletes. He's a three-time world champion, and between 2013 and 2015, he took part in 44 events, finishing on the podium at 40 of them, which included 25 victories. Events and races in his sport can vary in distance and, in some cases, disciplines. Normally, they'll involve any one of cycling, running, kayaking and swimming.
First, you got to develop a lot of skills, and then also you got to develop sort of the mental strength to be able to push on through for those long days, and to know what to do when you're under that kind of pressure, and to know how your body's going to respond to it. So yeah, it's a long process, but when you get there, it's quite fun.
Braden first sampled the sport whilst support crewing for his older brother on the Coast to Coast, which is a 243-kilometre race involving running, cycling and kayaking across New Zealand's South Island, and it takes place over 2 days. Inspired by his brother, Braden took up the challenge of entering the race himself in 2006.
The first time I gave the Coast to Coast a crack, I did the 2-day option. And on the first ride, 52-kilometre ride, I got 2 flat tyres, and I went into the mountain run stage at I think 270 something, and I came out second, and I ran the fastest split by like 5 minutes that day. So that gave me a fair idea that I had pretty natural ability to run in the mountains, and that's kind of where I got hooked.
With little training in a competitive kayak, Braden managed to finish in an incredible 3rd place. Yet soon after that event, Braden and his wife Sally headed to Australia to start a mountain bike business, leaving his blossoming sporting career behind. However, with the encouragement of his wife, Braden returned to the multi-sport world in 2011. He re-entered the Coast to Coast, this time in the elite section. Same course and distance, but only 1 day to do it in.
It felt easy from my behalf because I just felt like it was the right thing to do. And yeah, I think Braden probably struggled with it because he wondered if he could ever make a career and support a family with racing. But I don't know, I sort of have that trust in life that if you follow your dreams and that everything will work out, and it did.
The decision paid off as Braden finished 3rd. He knew then that he had the ability to compete at the highest level and began training and competing on a full-time basis. In 2013, he won his first Coast to Coast and successfully defended his title over the next 2 years. He then entered the Xterra Series, a global off-road triathlon and trail running competition. Braden is now amongst the world's best in his chosen field.
I still look at myself these days and think that I'm a pretty laid-back kind of person, but when I'm racing, I seem to find a want to push myself as hard as I possibly can. Whether that means there's someone in front of me or not doesn't make a difference. I seem to, even if I'm out in front by 10 minutes, I still want to push myself as hard as I physically can. So in a way, I'm not competitive sometimes with other people. I'm probably just as competitive with myself.
Braden and his family now live back in New Zealand, in Wanaka, on the country's South Island. In what little spare time he has, the Kiwi athlete loves taking on a variety of restoration projects.
I love doing heaps of stuff, you know, I'm very hands-on. I love sort of working on the house, on the garden, building fences. I've got an old caravan, that 62 Crestacraft, that I muck around with quite a lot. And you know, any little project that I can keep busy at and be doing, then yeah, I really enjoy that.
The Curry family live by the lake where Braden trains. It's the perfect environment for both dad and athlete.
It's really cool to be home, and you know, both of the kids are really busy doing their thing, and we all get to spend really quality time together. So you know, for me, it's a huge thing having that right balance as a dad and as a professional athlete, so it's really cool.
He's a great dad, and he can totally be in the moment with his kids, and we have great fun outside of racing. I think knowing lots of elite athletes and being in that industry, it's quite a hard challenge to turn off. You know, everything, they're always focused on the next event. They can't quite, outside of their training, think about anything else, and Braden can.
Focus this year for Braden has switched from off-road to on-road after a surprise opportunity arose. He's now hoping to compete for New Zealand in the triathlon at the 2016 Rio Olympics.
I think it's something that follows any athlete, you know, for me to have the ability to represent my country and go and just experience the Olympics and have that challenge of getting there and racing again against the best in the world is something that any athlete, I think, is going to be passionate about.
Having spent the majority of his career competing over distances far greater than those in the Olympics, Braden now has to make the necessary adjustments in just a short space of time.
You know, running's always been my strength, but always off-road running, which again is quite different. So I think I've got the ability to run that fast. It's just training myself to have that leg speed, you know. So it's going to be a lot of speed work, a lot of short sprint training, and developing those fast twitch fibres more and more for the year to go on.
Braden's performances in the triathlon this year have been steadily improving. Competing at the Olympics in Brazil is something that would, understandably, delight his family.
I couldn't be prouder, but I'd probably be proud of Braden no matter what he chose to do in life, because I know he'd do an amazing job at it. But watching him race is incredible. Like, I've never witnessed anyone dig so deep. Like, he puts it all out there every single time, and it's a crazy thing to watch.
Braden will know in the coming months whether or not he's made the New Zealand team for Rio. There's no doubt that he'll be giving his all in his quest to become an Olympian.
For me, a lot of racing, this style of racing is the journey. You know, it takes you through some of the most beautiful places, and the scenery we get to see along the way and the environments that we travel through in the racing is really what inspires me to keep racing. I love a challenge and I love competition. You know, I love being pushed hard and finding where my limits are.